See, primary stakeholders directly benefit or get affected because your action. They are called as a primary stakeholder. So the primary stakeholder will fall under this category. Okay, high power and then high in the interest. These categories all fall under the primary stakeholders. The secondary stakeholder, anyone that has more secondary stake. Okay, this is secondary stakeholders. See, for example, we'll take one example. Okay, we'll take LSG. Okay, who is the primary stakeholder in our group? If anyone know about LSG, no, it's only handled by Lauren, and whatever Lauren is doing, I'm more interested only. So we two are interested or related to the particular LSG. Okay, we will take this one. Okay, power. Who has a power? So I has a power compared to Lauren. So I'm seeing I have low interest. Okay, so I'll take I have a high power, and Lauren has a high interest on the project. Okay, we'll take this as an example. Okay, my thing is I have high power, but I have low interest. Okay, this one I don't care about the LSD project. If I decide that way, Lauren need not inform me anything what's going on in the LSD, right? If the same me, I have a lot of power and I have a lot of interest on the LSD, I'll sit on this particular character. So what I'll do, I'll sit and then manage this exactly what's going on, and then I'll keep the eye on it. And the same way, Lauren has to inform me everything what's going on there, right? You got the point, right? See, we'll take two scenarios. Okay, one is we will keep here in Thomas. Okay, for example, low and high power he has a low and then high interest is there. Okay, he has a high power, and for example, the project is going very well. Okay, so what will happen? He lose the interest, right? Whenever the project is going good, so he will come to this level. Okay, keep satisfied. If you inform him, that is more than sufficient, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, what will happen if a problem is in red? What do you need to do? You have to inform everything to him, right? You
Yes.
understand the stakeholders,
Yes.
right? That's
Yes.
the difference, right? So that's a time will change, right? The person with the power and the interest may change. I have some time on the high. For example, I'm getting a new onboarded client, I'll have full concentration here. Once it is getting stabilized, my interest will come down. So at the time, you have to keep me informed. That is more than sufficient. All other things you have to manage, and your internal team members will become a stakeholders, right? That's the way that you have to do. See, the stakeholder maintenance sometime it is taught as a the காக்கா பிடிக்கிறது இல்ல butter என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க? I don't know what's the word that. Okay, so அது மாதிரி போயிடுது. But that's not the mean of the stakeholder. Stakeholder concentrating or maintaining a stakeholder is a different, and butterflying is a different. Okay, so what it says is, when they have a high power and they have a high interest, how you are going to inform them. That's what the stakeholder maintenance is saying. Okay, the interest may change, the power may change. Based on that, you have to maintain the stakeholders. Okay, don't think only in Thomas or anybody else. Okay, think in your team itself. Say, for example, Mark is sending a report. Okay, we'll take this guy Mohan. Okay, he's sending a report to of any of the project. Okay, for example, EV project, he's sending all the emails he's sending. So who is more interested in it? So Matt will be more interested to see all the emails has been responded or not. I'll be interested only in the consolidated email, right? I'm interested only in the TOTS email, not every email of the TOTS, right? Where every day I'll go and see that what is important for me. That's the way you have to keep me informed. For example, Dr. J is not copied in the email. So I send a immediately email to this guy TOTS saying that why you missed it. Because that I'm interested in, right? Who are all the stakeholders need to be keep them informed on. That's the way the stakeholder maintenance. Okay, and stakeholder register we used to maintain. Okay, whenever you have to maintain a stakeholder register, identify who is the managing stakeholder for that particular project, and then keep them informed on. Okay, and the stakeholder metrics is interest and the power. That's what we have discussed now. And process owners and the stakeholders. Okay, process owner. Who is the process owner? Who owns the process is a process owner. And from the process owner, we'll get a project champion. For example, you are starting the Six Sigma project, we will get a project champion. And then enterprise leadership team, you know very well, right? Who is a leadership team on that particular organization. And business unit and the leadership team. Improvement, for example, I'm going to create a Six Sigma team. That will become my improvement project team. And the team supporters who are all going to work for the Six Sigma project. And the team leaders and coach for the Six Sigma, who will give a training and who will mentor the team. Okay, the stakeholders, very, very important. If you understand the how to maintain the stakeholder, how to manage the stakeholder, you will be very, very powerful and your life will be very easy in any of your MNCs or any of the organizations.
எரிக் ஒரு டவுட் அதுல. இப்போ இந்த பிரைமரி செகண்டரி ஸ்டேக் ஹோல்டர்ஸ் சொன்னீங்களா, இப்போ இது வந்து சோ ஐ மீன் இது இப்போ பிரைமரியும் செகண்டரி ஸ்டேக் ஹோல்டரும் மாறிட்டே இருப்பாங்களா? அப்ப நீங்க சொல்ற
மாற மாட்டாங்க. இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இப்போ சிஇசின்னு எடுத்துங்க.
இல்ல நான் சொல்றேன், இப்போ when you lose your interest you stated you
become a
just
second.
need to
Yeah, become a secondary stakeholder.
பிரைமரி வந்து அப்ப வேற ஒரு ஸ்டேக் ஹோல்டர் வருவார், அது வரைக்கும் பிரைமரி ஸ்டேக் ஹோல்டர் நீங்களா தான் இருப்பீங்க.
ஆமா, இப்போ நான் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் எனக்கு வந்து புதுசா ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் இருக்குன்னு வச்சுங்களேன், we will take CEC itself. Okay, CEC பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் do you think am I primary or secondary?
செகண்டரி ஸ்டேக் ஹோல்டர்.
அவ்வளவுதான், அதான் மேட்டருங்க, வேற ஒன்றும் கிடையாது. இப்போ நீ திடீர்னு சிஇசி என்கிட்ட கொடுத்துட்டாங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, ஐ வில் பிகம் பிரைமரி ஸ்டேக் ஹோல்டர். ஸோ யூ டேக் கேர் ஆஃப் த கம்ப்ளீட் சிஇசி, யூ கிவ் மீ த ரிசல்ட்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்கன்னா நான் செகண்டரியில இருந்து ஐ மூவ் டு பிரைமரி. ஒய்? பிகாஸ் மை இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இஸ் இம்ப்ரூவிங் ஹியர். ஓகே, மை பவர் இஸ் நாட் சேஞ்சிங் எனிதிங், பட் மை இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ஃப்ரம் லோ டு இட் பிகம் ஹை.
அதான் அப்ப சோ லைக் யூ நோ த அதர் பிரைமரி ஸ்டேக் ஹோல்டர் இருந்தார்ல, நவ யூ பிகம் பிரைமரி ஸ்டேக் ஹோல்டர்
and then he will become secondary because his interest level, yeah, his interest level will go off, right? Okay. He don't want to contribute, right? Automatically that guy will come out.
Got it.
Okay, that's the way. Okay. Right. So any questions so far? Okay, so next chapter is very, very important. With this chapter we will give one break. Okay, and then we will go for a VSM discussion and then we will continue. Okay, any different thoughts?
No, boss, as you said, we will do it.
Okay, right. So voice of the business and voice of the customer. I told you in many time, voice of the customer is very, very powerful. And the same way the voice of the business is very, very powerful in deciding any of the projects or any of the process. Okay, voice of the business is nothing but we have to consider what is a business requirement. Okay, for example, I want to start, as we discussed last time, I want to start a restaurant. Okay, so that means I have to start that in the prime location. Okay, right? That's a business requirement. The same way, voice of the customer, what my customer want and how I am going to work on that. That's what the voice of the customer. Okay, so VOC strategy, what is talk about is defining the goals of implementing voice of the customer process. Okay, and identify the customer type, segment, and related to the project that we need to understand. Clearly chart it down, focus customer group. Okay, then data collection, next step, analyze the data and what is collected. Okay, determining the customer requirement, action, and goals. Okay, I'll explain what it is. See, for example, I have a plan. Okay, actually I thought of doing it in last Friday itself, but I'm not able to do. But Dr. J already started with this guy Mark Fan. See, what we are planning to do is we are going to call our customer CSM and the customer. Okay, for example, you are getting a new customer. Okay, or the existing customer. What is the plan is we are going to the customer and we are going to ask them, what is the 4 or 5 metrics you want to measure us? Okay, make it very clear. Okay, so that will give a clear cut picture what is your voice of the customer. See, we are assuming the things that our customer is interested only in the collection, but that's not happening, right? Many of the time, see, some customer is saying that my 90 plus should not go beyond 8%. Some customer is saying that my patient statement error should not go beyond one error per month. So they have different requirements, right? So what is the plan is we are going to talk to the CSM and then ask them to define our success metrics. Okay, so we will give them the point that you measure us by 4 or 5 points. You define the process. Okay, what need to be done? See, for example, they are saying that I should not get any patient statement error. Okay, fine, understood. What is the value? Is it 98% you are expecting or 99? 100% I cannot give, right? So I am doing a manual process. It may go wrong. And what is the percentage you are expecting? 98%? Yes. So every month you take a calculation and see that how many time I missed out. So that will give a clarity to your CSM, to your client, as well as for the process. So your requirement will be finalized. If any customer is asking, I need 100% perfect, we can tell them clearly, I'm not a machine. I'm handling with my people. Definitely there will be an error. And we are working towards my 6 Sigma goal. Now I am in the 3 or 4 Sigma. That's what we have to tell. Say, I cannot say that even 6 Sigma, I am committing them for 99.99%, not more than that, right? So we will come to a conclusion. What is your expectation and how I am going to get it back to them. That's what we are going to implement. You will see that implementation from next week onwards here. So that is called your voice of customer. So we just want to compare what is the difference between your VOB and the VOC. So as I told you, VOB talks about your business requirement. VOC talks about your customer requirement. Okay, include the requirement that related to process, cost, safety, and delivery. Here, only the desires of the organizational customer need alone we will focus here. Okay, the focus internal efficiency and the productivity. Here it focus on the external customer and the requirement and need. Okay, influenced by the necessity and the solving operational problem and the improvement focus. Okay, these are all general points. Okay, influenced by the customer needs, expectation, and express in their own verbatim. This is a major thing. Okay, they will never express their own verbatim. We have to pull them to say. Okay, that's what we are planning to do for the new customer FFN. Okay, and the requirement is profitability, return on investment, cost. This is the business requirement. Here, the customer requirement include aspects such as value, price, durability, and the feature. Because the customer requirement is huge. Unless you specify this, we cannot control it, right? For example, one client, if you come and then sit with the client, say that what are all my problems, he will say 1,000, right? But we cannot maintain 1,000 on our process. So we are going to streamline that, and we already started working towards that. And then we are going to finalize what is your important metric to measure us. So if they gave it to
sorry
us,
to interrupt, boss. இது வந்து இப்போ தாமஸ் வந்து இப்போ ஒரு every quarter he visit clients and gets
a lot of error,
feedback, right?
lot of feedback, lot of errors.
அத என்ன கேட்டகரியில சேர்ப்பீங்க இத?
சேர்க்கவே மாட்டோம். அது வாய்ஸ் ஆஃப் கஸ்டமரே சேர்க்க மாட்டோம். அது இவரும் அவரும் பேசி தேவையில்லாம ரொம்ப விலைக்கு வாங்கிட்டுருவாங்கன்னு தான் சொல்லுவோம். So that's what we discussed with Dr. J. Now we are going to tell them clearly, okay, you talk whatever you want, but measure us on the 5 metrics what customer want us to measure. Okay, I may get an error. Okay, but what is the frequency of the error and what percentage of error I'm going to get it? Okay, for example, நீங்க வந்து கிளைண்ட்டை பேசும்போது போன வாரம் நடந்ததான் ஞாபகம் வச்சிருப்பான். நான் ஒரு வருஷம் உயிரோட்டு ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருப்பேன். அது எதுவுமே அவனுக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்காது. கரெக்டுங்களா? ஸோ தட் நாட் அ வே டு மெஷர் அஸ், ரைட்? ஸோ தே ஹாவ் டு கம்பேர் அஸ் பேஸ் ஆன் த டேட்டா, நாட் பை த வெர்பாட்டம். தட்ஸ் வாட் ஐம் ட்ரைங் டு சே. ஸோ இது வந்து என்ன பண்ண போறோம்னா we are going to implement that. புரியல
இல்ல நீங்க மெஷரிங் வந்து அதாவது 5 டேட்டா வச்சு தான் மெஷர் பண்ண சொல்றீங்க. அது
அவங்ககிட்டயும் வாங்க போறோம். we are going to ask them what is the area you want us to measure னு கிளையன்ட்ட போய் கேட்க போறோம், எல்லா கிளையன்ட்டுக்குமே.
so they can give any number of measurement data.
Let them give, but it is within the 5 parameters, right? 5 parameterல you measure me. See, after 3 months we'll go back and then say that, see, you gave me the 5 parameter and this my success rate or this my failure rate, what I'm improving. Okay, if you want to change any parameter, please let us know, we'll change the parameter. இதெல்லாம் நல்லா போதா அதை கழட்டி விட்டுட்டு we will take a new parameter and then we will work on it. 5 is a major metric what we are looking for. Every time 5 will be the projected to the, even the client customer CSM also we are going to do the same thing. You come and then measure us on the 5 metrics, not more than that.
So for the 5 metrics இந்த லெஃப்ட்ல இருக்குதா இல்ல வந்து நம்ம
வாங்கணும், இனிமே தான் வாங்கணும். we have to get it from them. Yeah, that's what we have planned. In the Friday meeting அதான் plan பண்ணோம். We are not able to organize. Mostly we will get it in the Tuesday meeting. It's already informed to Mark Fan. Okay, we are waiting for last 2 weeks. He don't know how to measure us. That's the problem.
Okay, இது எல்லா ப்ராஜெக்ட்டுக்குமா இல்ல
எல்லா ப்ராஜெக்ட்டுக்கும் through CSM. Okay, we are not going directly to the customer, but we are going to ask them the client service managers. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. Okay, process of collecting the customer data. Okay, this is very important to get a voice of the customer. See here, your customer you know very well, right? Who is your customer? For example, I am getting a new client and I know that this is my customer and then I can start. But many of the time we don't know who is our customer are. It's not related to healthcare, but in general I'm saying, see, even the hospital, you have a hospital, we don't know who is your customer are, right? You may get n number of customer, n number of patients from all the location or all the criteria. So collecting the customer data is very, very important in other process, other prospects or other process compared to the medical billing aspects of it. Okay, so how to collect the customer data? For example, you don't know who is a customer. உங்க கஸ்டமர் யாருன்னு நேரா போய் கேட்டலாம். கஸ்டமர்ட்டே உனக்கு என்னவா பிரச்சனை, என்ன சொல்லுன்னு கேட்கலாம். கஸ்டமர் எனக்கு யாரும் தெரியல, பட் I have to collect the data. Okay, identify the urgent problem that they are focusing. If I know the customer, I'll go and ask, right? See, for example, I'm having FFN. Okay, I'll go and ask what is your urgent problem. They may say that I didn't file my claim. Okay, file it immediately. I'm going to the T-Works and asking what is your problem. Their problem is the DX is a problem, or CPT is a problem. The claim is not going out, or NPA is not enrolled. Like that, they can give a problem. But I don't know what is my customer. This collecting is a challenge. Okay, knowing the customer preferences and need to do this. That's what we are trying to locate. Okay, the customer may have 100 or 200 preferences. Okay, but what you need immediately, and define what is the product and service they are interested in. Okay, I may have Artemis, I may have Anodyne, I may have a medical billing, or I'll do EV. So I want to understand what product they are interested in and decide the level of quality, what quality you need. Okay, I can deliver only 98%. That's what we are committing to the client. And to measure the customer satisfaction, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, how I'm going to measure my customer satisfaction. I may have n number of value, but how I'm going to measure it. Okay, there are two types. One is tool for data collection. I can observe and then collect. Second one, I can interview and then I can collect. Third one is there is a focus group. For example, in the client side, okay, I may have the 5 focus member. I can talk to them and then understand what is their requirement. And many of the time you may receive the survey, right, in the email. So fill the survey and then send it to us. That is also one way to collect the data. Okay, in the data type, there are two types. One is a primary data. Primary data is nothing but directly collect from the customer, is called direct data. Secondary data is nothing but indirect sources. So for example, I am taking a data saying that in this particular area, how many people are affected by COVID. So I cannot go and then ask this question to the customer, right? I'll depend on my data, the government data, what they are published, or the data coming in the news channel. That will become my secondary data. I am not connecting directly with the customer, but I am getting a data related to that. Okay, process of collecting the data. Understanding the customer requirement is a main area which will trigger to my customer data. And the data converted into useful information. Whatever you are collecting from them, it should be converted into the useful information. Okay, they may talk about 100 things. Okay, from there, you have to identify what is a tracking mechanism, how we are going to do it. Okay, and then decide characteristics. What is the raw material, quality level, and the process steps, and the TAT. Okay, whatever, how many days we are going to deliver, and how we are going to deliver. That and all we'll talk about the. We have to derive from the data collection. Okay, further defining process output. Okay, how they expect the output. Okay, what is the details we are expecting, or the client is expecting from us. Okay, any question here?
No.
No, boss.
Okay, right. Okay, effective data collection is this one. Okay, see where we don't have a direct client. Okay, you assume that, and then some area we are going to send collect from the surveys. Okay, that's the way. See, for example, reliability. What do you mean reliability? Consistency of the data collection method. Okay, for example, you have collected the data. Okay, that data should be reliable, right? You cannot give your own story in the data. That is one. And the validity. Validity means, for example, I may collect anything related to COVID now, but is it for lifelong? No, it is the situation, right? So how many months or how many days this data may be valid? For example, they are doing a exit poll or before poll, they are taking the data collection, right? That data collection, they will talk about what is the validity of the thing. Okay, for example, I am taking a poll before the election. Okay, at the time after the polling happened, the data completely changed, right? The validity will go off. And margin of error. So when we take any surveys, okay, there is a certain percentage of error will be there that we need to consider and then accept it. Okay, that is one thing. There are two types of errors. One is sampling error. Second one is non-sampling error. See, sampling error is what we are collecting the samples for a population. So I'll tell you what is a sample and what is a population. See, today one person is working on 40 accounts and then 20 days he is working. So totally he is working for the 800 accounts per month. In that, am I auditing all the 800? No, that is my population. I'm selecting a 10% sample. For example, I'm auditing only the 80 account. That is the sample I'm auditing. From the sample, I am giving the projection for the population. 800 accounts, what is the percentage and projection? So that is the statistical error. Okay, it's not caused by the human nature. For example, quality auditor will audit and then he may say that based on my 10% audit, he is good and the process going in a good status. Okay, he will declare saying that we are at 99% or 98%. He will declare the quality. After he declared the quality, we identified one client error. So that means what? The statistical nature or the way he is taking the sample, that is the problem, and then it is not created by the human error, because he is not able to identify on the error portion of it when he taking the samples. That is one. And second one is non-sampling error. See, statistical whatever he is doing, that may be correct, but it is caused by the human error. Okay, he is not able to do it rightly. Okay, that is a non-sampling errors. And source data bias and errors, okay, leading to the ineffective data collection. Okay, so when I was in agriculture college, okay, we used to go and then we have to prepare the questionnaire. Okay, all the questionnaire you have to prepare and then go to the nearby villages. They will take us through bus. Okay, so we'll போயிட்டு ஜாலியா போயிட்டு ஊர்லாம் பக்கத்துல இருக்க வில்லேஜ் எல்லாம் சுத்தி பார்த்துட்டு we have to collect the question. Okay, question you have to prepare, get the answer from the people. ஸோ அப்போ அது மாதிரி கொஸ்டின் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணும்போது தெர் பி லாட் ஆஃப் சேலஞ்சஸ். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் உள்ள இறங்கினோடனே ஊருக்குள்ள இறங்கினோம் நல்லா இன்ட்ரெஸ்டா இருக்கும், ஜாலியா இருக்கும். 2-3 பேர்ட்ட கொஸ்டின் கேட்போம். 4வது ஆள்கிட்ட போகும்போது அவன் தான் 3 பேர் அதே சொல்லிட்டான்ல, நானும் அதே தானே சொல்லுவேன், நீ திருப்பி வந்து என்கிட்ட கேட்கல அப்படின்னு கேட்டாங்கன்னா என்ன ஆகுனா 5வது ஆள் போய் பார்க்க தோணாது. நம்மளே கொஸ்டினை ஃபில் பண்ணுவோம், கடகடன் ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டு பஸ்ல ஏறி உட்காந்துக்க வேண்டியது, எல்லாம் முடிஞ்சுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் த ப்ராப்ளம், ரைட்? த டேட்டா வில் பிகம் பயஸ் by 2 or 3 people's opinion, right? That's what happening in many of the your news channels. Okay, when they buy from the political party, they will go for the data bias. Okay, they will identify the people who support the party and then they will remove the other people. Okay, that's called the data bias problem, and that's an error. And the second thing is too many questions. Okay, for example, you are asking one particular issue with one question and then you have to close it out. But sometimes what happens, we are asking the too many questions, the people will lose our interest or we lose our interest to ask the question. Okay, that is one challenge. And second thing is vagueness, ambiguity, and bias. Okay, so as I told you, when we start the question, we'll be interested to collect all the data. After some time, we lose the interest, and then that will create a ambiguity, and then we will put our own answer on it. Okay, that's a challenge. And multiple question in one single question. See, one single question you ask, that will trigger to around 4 or 5 questions. That and all will go to the wrong information only. Okay, and the poor design. See, mainly the survey will be done by the extensive thought process. Okay, whenever you go for a survey, that should be a properly designed, then only you will get a correct information. Otherwise, it will go for a wrong survey only. And subjective measure. You cannot measure the subjectives. Okay, only if anything is related to the objective you can measure, subjective you cannot measure. And when you are asking incorrect question, that is a problem. Non-specific question is an issue. Okay, sometimes what happens now, it is influence. See, leading by behavior. Some people result you based on their moods. Okay, the survey. Okay, influenced by the surrounding. If you ask the person individually, he will give one answer. If he is in a group, he will give different answers. Okay, these are all some of the challenges when you are collecting the data collection technique. But we don't have this problem, right? We are directly going and then reaching the client, and then we can ask this data what you need and then how we can measure it and all. So we don't have this problem especially in the medical billing side. So we can collect very effective data from the client and then we can go for the VOC. But I'm talking about the in general. Okay, for example, we'll take FMCG projects. Okay, they will take the survey. Based on the survey, they will produce one project, but that product will not go in the market well because of the failure in the survey. That not very often it's happening, right? That is one. And this very important slide. Okay, customer requirement and the QFD. See, what is the customer expecting from us? Okay, one is basic expectation, expected expectation. Next one is desired expectation, unanticipated expectation. Okay, these are all some of the area you should understand. See, for example, I'll go to this particular picture. Okay, this is a client satisfaction at the higher level, client satisfaction at the lower level. Okay, here it is revealed and it is a degree of achievement. Okay, so we'll go in this order. See, for example, you are a customer and you are going to purchase any product in the market. Okay, see, for example, you are going to buy a TV, okay, in the market. So what is unspoken, what the TV should be, right? You are going to check anything else, right? If we are having a TV, and then you should know that it should have a remote, right? That's our basic expectation, right? So now if anyone is selling the TV without remote, is it save your basic expectation? No. If you're going to purchase a TV, are you going to ask this TV has a remote? No, it's all gone, right? It's a basic expectation. If any TV, there should be a remote, because we don't want to walk and then reduce our weight. We have to sit and then change the remote, right? Previously what happened, we have to run and then change the channel. Now it is a default. So if the TV has a remote, this is a must be. Okay, it's a must be character. It's unspoken. No one will talk about that. Even the TV company say that I have a remote, or you are not going to ask them whether you have a remote or not. The same way, when any billing company or any client is giving a project to you, this is unspoken, is a different. Okay, what is unspoken? Whatever charges I'm giving to them, they have to bill it correctly, and then it has to reach the insurance company. That's what must be, and it is unspoken. No billing company or no client is going to talk about this must be characters. Okay, expected expectation. Okay, what is this? For example, if you're buying the same TV, I'll take. Okay, if I'm going to buy a TV, I'm expecting there should be some basic warranty, right? This expected expectation, at least 2 years, 3 years, something should be there. Okay, generally come with the normal product. All charges, for example, this is a general expectation. For example, I am getting a billing from the client. Okay, what is the expectation? All charges billed on time. Okay, there should not be any delay in my charge billing. Whenever I receive a payment, it should be posted. Whatever AR is there, that should be worked AR. Okay, that's not resolved AR. At least there should be a worked AR should be there. That's what the expected expectation. The same way, if I'm going to purchase a TV, warranty is a expected one, right? It should be there. And desired expectation is a next one which a client may expect. Okay, see, for example, HD vision is a desired expectation. It may be HD or a normal vision for a TV, but if a client expecting the HD, that is a desired one. For example, what my client is expecting is bill charges as per the guideline. Okay, I may give whatever this encounter I have, but you have to check with your coding guideline and you bill it based on the coding guideline. That's what the desired expectation by the client. Okay, unanticipated expectation. Okay, even the customer is not aware of. Okay, but if we are able to give that, that is called unexpected expectation. See, we'll think one client. Okay, and they are billing for a particular insurance. Okay, that particular insurance having a bonus program. Okay, this client never received it, and we worked on it, and then we are giving them that this is the money extra we collected for your practice. That is called unexpected expectation. How you guys are saying that the underpayment amount I'll collect $250, otherwise I'll collect from my 50K, right? Otherwise we'll share it from our salary. That's called delighter, right? Mark, Sean is there.
Sean இல்ல சார், இந்த மார்ட்டின் மட்டும் தான் கன்வே பண்ண முடியுது.
Okay,
Martin is here.
And the 250K, what you're going to give is an unexpected expectation for the client. That is called a delighter. See, whenever you have any client, okay, first thing is you have to satisfy them, and there should be a must be should be met, and you have to satisfy the client, and you should be able to give a delighter. Okay, not every time, at least once in a quarter you have to give one delighter to them, and that delighter is a point where you can focus on make your customer satisfaction at a higher level. Okay, so what I'm doing that will go only for the satisfier. It will never go to the delighter category. So always think what delighter I'm going to give for the client. Okay, usually what delighter we are getting in the grocery shop and all.
Any offer free?
Free, right? ஒன்னு வாங்கினா ஒன்னு ஃப்ரீ. விக்காத ப்ராடக்ட்லாம் சேர்த்து ஒட்டி வச்சிருப்பானுங்க, right?
ரொம்ப சிம்பிளா சொல்ல போனா எவ்ரி நியூ இயர் கேலண்டர் கொடுப்பாங்க.
கேலண்டர்ஸ். அதே மாதிரி ஒரு 2 கிலோ சிக்கன் வாங்கினா முட்டை ஃப்ரீ. இதெல்லாம் வந்து டிலைட்டர்ஸ். ஆக்சுவலி புதுசா கடை முன்பது அதெல்லாம் போட்டிருப்பான், ரைட்டா? அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம மதிக்க கூட மாட்டான் உள்ள. தட்ஸ் கால்ட் யுவர் டிலைட்டர்ஸ். ஸோ சம் ஆஃப் த டைம் you should be able to give a delighter, and you should have a better trumpet to say them, I am giving you the delighter. அது நம்ம சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கணும், ரைட்டா? ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், you are taking elevation, right? Elevationல we close all the 90+, nothing is there. That is the delighter. ஒவ்வொரு மீட்டிங்ல நம்ம அதை பத்தி பேசணும், இல்லை மறந்து போயிடுவாங்க. 90+ இல்ல, உன் அக்கௌண்ட் வந்து கிளியரா இருக்குன்னு நம்ம தான் சொல்லணும் அவன்கிட்ட. That is called your delighters. Delighters should be highlighted.
கரெக்ட் தான் பாஸ். சில கிளையண்ட் வந்து ரொம்ப டிலைட் கொடுத்தா ஓகே நாங்களே வச்சுக்கிறோம்.
வச்சுக்கிட்டானா ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது. See, டிலைட்டர் கொடுக்க வேண்டிய நம்மளோட ரூல். அவன் வச்சுக்குவானா வச்சுக்கிட்டான், நம்ம என்ன பண்றது? That's not our problem, right? See, என்னோட ப்ராசஸ் என்ன, உன்னை வந்து மஸ்ட் பீல இருந்து ஐ brought you to the டிலைட்டர். அதான் சொல்றேன், டிலைட்டர் வந்து எவ்ரி டைம் நம்ம கொடுக்குறாரு, ரைட்டா? 3 months once. திஸ்
3
குவார்டர்
months.
வி brought in. ஸோ அப்போ வந்து நெக்ஸ்ட் எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன் வந்து ஓகே, இன்னும் ஏதோ புதுசாக ஏதோ பண்ண போறாங்க பசங்க, பண்ணி தருவாங்கன்ற மாதிரி வி ஆர் கிரியேட்டிங் சம் எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன். ஸோ டிஸ்சாட்டிஸ்ஃபயர் இட்ஸ் பேஸ்ட் ஆன் யுவர் லெவல் ஆஃப் குவாலிட்டி. Satisfier is a little extras what we are trying to bring them, and delighter is unexpected and exciting attributes. That's what the way you have to maintain your client. So in the delighter பண்றதுக்கு what you should know is you first understand what is their requirement. Okay, is it a basic, it is unspoken mainly, expected expectation it should be, and desired expectation, that's what the client is needing it, and unanticipated is our delighter. Okay, இதெல்லாம் வந்து very very important point when you're coming for a customer requirement. Okay, see, stated needs. Okay, இது ஒரு சின்ன ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு கிளைண்ட்ல. எல்லாருமே வந்து எல்லாத்தையும் சொல்ல மாட்டானுங்க, ஒரு பெரிய சிக்கல் அதுல, ரைட்டா? So that we will take it little bit further. Okay, so here stated needs means what? Say what they want. They already inform, okay, what they need from you. They will tell very clearly. You are able to see that, right? The top one. And then second one is real need. Okay, what is really needed by the customer. Third one is perceived need, what the customer think they need. And cultural needs, status that the customer think. Okay, so for example, we'll take one scenario. You are going for a any one shopping mall. Okay, say they want, you know what do you want? No, right? You are just going to the shop and then to see the what is there in the mall. Okay, we'll take fun mall. Okay, you're going to the fun mall, you don't know what you need. Okay, the fun mall people also don't know what you need. Okay, unless you have a specific role. See, for example, I am going there, I may say that I want to take one shirt. Okay, that is my need. If I say that my state's need is finalized, what I do, I'll go to the at least the textile shop, right? The ready-made shop I'll go. Otherwise, what will happen? I'll roam around and then come out, right? I don't know what to do. So that is my need. And what is my real need? Okay, if shirt, is it shirt is needed or a t-shirt is needed? Okay, is it a casual or a other material? Okay, what is my real need? That need to be finalized. Okay, that need to be extracted from the client. So I may go to the ready-made shop and then I don't know what to take, right? So if anyone is going to cater my need, I should be able to tell what is my real need. And then perceived needs. Okay, see what the customer think they need. So I think shirt is my need, but after getting into the shop, I may change, my requirement may change, right? I don't want to take shirt, I might go for the pants, right? That may change. That's a perceived needs. And cultural need, for example, I am taking one shirt from a branded company. Okay, I'm expecting something happen on the cultural need, status of the customer think. Okay, these are all the things generally what the customer is going to get it. Okay, stated needs, they will say. Real need, stated needs are entirely different from real need. Okay, what they are saying and what they really need, many of the customer don't know, right? That's a problem. So we have to explain the customer clearly what is your need. They may think differently, but we have to clarify them. That is not your need. Your need at this time is this one. That we need to clarify them very clearly and then bring that to your alignment, and which is aligning to the customer growth. That is the first point. And here the specific customer service needs. Okay, one is, see, for example, you want to buy a product. Okay, this is a product, this is a service. Whenever you want to buy a product, how you buy a product, it should be a convenient, and it should be safety, it should be simple to use, and it should be easy to communicate, right? For example, you want to go for a car. Okay, you want to see that the car should be very convenient, no problematic, and then safety message should be there, and maintenance should be very simple, and if any problem, I should be able to communicate to the people. Simple expectation. So the same way, I'm going for a some service needs. Okay, you're going for a broadband. What is a broadband? Convenience. If I call them, they should be able to come and then fix me. And then courteous means what? They should be able to give a polite services, right? Whenever I have a problem, I have in the irritated mood, I may call them and then give left and right, but they should be able to understand that and then give me a service, right? That's what the courteousness. And the competent and then reliable. Okay, compared to the competitors, they should be able to very competitive, and then they should be a reliable one. And responsiveness, when I send an email or when I send a ticket or when I call them, they should be responsive and then try to fix my problem. And safety, trust. Okay, I should be able to trust them, and the facility, they should have a facility to complete and determine the customer requirement. So this is the 7 points when we go for a service industry, and this is 4 points when you go for a product industry, generally the customer requirement. This very important slide. Okay, if you have any question, please ask. See, whenever you are doing a monthly presentation, we should cover all these points. Okay, what is a must be is met, the satisfier points we met, and the delighter we'll go for a QMB meetings. Okay, quarterly business reviews. Okay, if no questions, I'll move to the next one. I think we finished it. So I'll finish it off. That would be better. Another 2 slides only there.
Okay, boss.
Okay, so this is a second technique. Okay, we went for the FMEA is the first one, right? And the second one is the QFT technology. Okay, customer requirement and the QFT. How we are going to define the QFT? It's here. Okay, so it's a house of the quality. Okay, so how we are going to define on the QFT metrics? Okay, see the house of quality, which talk about how we are going to measure on the requirement of the customers. Okay, HOQ diagram, customer focus. This will talk about 2 things. Okay, customer requirement and customer importance. So this is a customer requirement and this is a customer importance. For example, I may have 10 items, but in what order? Okay, for example, priority 1, priority 2, like that, I'll categorize the customer importance. The same way, technical requirement, based on my customer requirement, I may create a technical requirements here. Okay, what are all the things I need? And that also I have to prioritize what is the technical priority, that I'll have to figure it out. And the interrelationship metrics between my customer requirement and the technical requirement, this is interrelationship metrics. Okay, that I'll match. If, for example, here the first point, and here the technical requirement is the first point. When it join, I'll give that this is my metrics, interrelationship metrics. And technical priorities. Okay, what are all the things I prioritize, and then I'll put it. And technical correlation metrics, we'll understand whether it is possible or not possible. I'll make it very simple. Okay, see, for example, I'm going for a new client. Okay, new client is saying that I need my collection should be more. Okay, that's the first point. Collection should be as per my GCR, or they are saying that every month I want to collect around 200K. That is their requirement, first requirement. And the second requirement, they're coming back and say that all my claim should be released by weekly Monday. Okay, every Monday my claim should go out. Second thing, I should not get any denial. Okay, the third thing, and my AR should not accumulate. So 4 requirements they had given. In the 4, which is the priority one, that we need to get it from client. Okay, you had given the 4 metric, which is a priority one. They are saying that collection is my first priority. Okay, done. Second one is denial should not be there. Done. Third one is on time the claim should go, that every week it should go. Fourth time, AR should not accumulate. Like that, we'll give a customer importance here. So then I come to my technical requirements. So to meet out this, what I need. Okay, I need the team need to be implemented. That's the first requirement. Second requirement is I have to finalize what is my GCR. Second one, I have to file all my claim on time. And fourth time, I will check my acceptance and the rejection report. I'll work on the denials, and then I'll follow up and then get the payment need to be posted. That's my technical requirement. I'll just coordinate my technical requirement, which is aligned with my technical priorities. Okay, I'll just put a mark, and then I'll see that how it is going to be worked, how we are going to close this particular metrics. That's what we are planning. See, this is the second one. The same thing I'm giving it in a different format. Okay, this is the customer need, and this is a priority. Okay, and this is a feasibility study, which is a technical one. Okay, based on the feasibility and what is the performance, we are going to give the need and future metrics we are going to create. And whatever you are giving this as a need, you have to see that how the competitors are doing. See, if the competitor is doing better way, the client will not be with you, they will go to the competitor. If you are doing good, the clients is going to be with you. I'll make very simple example. One more example I'll give. Okay, see, for example, we'll take Ryan is planning to construct one house. Okay, so that's his need. So to do a construction of the house, what is his priority? Okay, so what is his priority? First thing is it should be in the budget. Second thing is as per my design. And third thing, all the material should be, I got it from the best quality. Okay, that's the third thing. These are all the three area he's saying. And he's saying that I want to construct around 3-floor building. Okay, that's what is requirement. When the technical feasibility, if we see that that particular area, they are not at all giving a permission more than a ground floor. So this, your need is not matching with your feasibility. So your priorities is gone, right? Here I cannot map. Okay, the 3-floor building and the feasibility is not matching. So I cannot provide this as a metrics. So I'll remove it. For example, he's asking everything should be with the first quality. Yes, technically it is feasible. I'll give that as a feasible criteria. Okay, and when I'm comparing my house with the competitor house, I should be able to get my required quality. That's the way this HOQ metrics will be finalizing. Okay, this is a need you have to take. You have to take all your technical feasibility and then you have to match it both, so that we should be able to deliver to them. Okay, what we need and then how we are going to deliver. Okay, the first thing is collect the voice of the customer information. That's what I told you, right? He want to construct 3-floor building and then best quality materials in the house. And then all the for example, all the house should be completed within 3 months. Like that, is giving a priorities that you need to collect from them. And develop the list of the technical requirement. Technical requirement is nothing but there is no feasibility of constructing more than a ground floor. That is a feasibility. Like that, you develop all your technical requirement and then list it out, and then determine the technical priority. In the technical priority, which is important one, and then customer requirement, which is important. Then try to match both here, like an interactive table. So then you will understand how we are going to measure this HOQ metrics. Any question? See, whenever you collect your customer requirement, you have to go for a HOQ and then you have to prepare this. So that's what I'm going to make you to do once we got the CSM requirements.
Eric, இது இப்போ கரண்ட் எக்ஸாம்பிள்க்கு ஆர்டெமிஸ் அண்ட் இந்த கிரெடென்ஷியலிங் டூல் அது ரெண்டும் எடுத்துக்கலாமா?
எடுத்துக்கலாம், அது கண்டிப்பா எடுத்துக்கலாம். இப்போ நீங்க ஆர்டெமிஸ்ல வந்து எடுத்தீங்கன்னா பாருங்க, உங்களோட நீட்ஸ் என்ன, அதுக்கான ரெக்யர்மெண்ட் என்ன. எஸ், டெஃபினெட்லி we can take it. இல்ல, even I am planning for FFN. Okay, we will put this HOQ for FFN as well as for all the clients. We will put it this month. That's what my target for June. We'll get it. We'll have a meeting with them. We'll fix it. So we completed 5 projects successfully.
5 total 6 இல்ல
5 தான் வச்சிருக்கேன். இது 5 தான் இருக்கு நம்பர். 6 is a voice of customer in Six Sigma. இது என்ன முடிச்சிருக்கோம்?
பேஸ்டமே
ப்ராஜெக்ட் ஐடென்டி தப்பா இருக்கோ? இல்லங்க, இதான் இருக்கு. 4 வந்து
4 க்கு அப்புறம் 6 வந்திருக்கு.
ஓஹோ,
நம்பர் தப்பா பாருங்க. குவாலிட்டி எங்க இருந்து முடிக்கிறது? 4 க்கு அப்புறம் 5 வரலையா?
சூப்பர் பாஸ்.
5
குவாலிட்டி நேதன் தான கண்டுபிடிச்சது?
நேதன் இல்ல, ஸ்மித் நினைக்கிறேன்.
ஸ்மித்
குரலை வச்சு தான் கண்டுபிடிக்க வேண்டியிருக்கு ஆளுங்களை. 5th இந்த QFD ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்டான ஃபங்க்ஷன். QFD is nothing but your HOQ. ஓகே, இது நீங்க ப்ராக்டிகலா பண்ணி பாருங்க, you will feel very good. Okay, so we'll go to break. Okay, and what's the time now?
ஒர்க் முடிய டைம் ஆச்சு பாஸ். இன்னும் 1/4 மணி நேரம் தான் இருக்கு.
8:40.
We need break or we'll continue with the
We will continue with that.
Yes. Okay, I'll stop my recording.
See, Mark and